crowd control has been part of internal security challenges over the years. Crowd control and management is within the ambit of the police globally. Over the years, it became a challenge that live ammunition had always killed people during crowd control and management. That the presence of military in crowd control and management has always been a very unprofessional approach in deployment. The United Nations, in the last 2 decades, decided to introduce something between the normal police and the normal armed forces to deal with crowd control and crowd management. It is a specialized policing intervention. We call them formed police units. These formed police units are specialized in crowd control and crowd management. And I've always said that if you go to the hospital and you find 2 specialists, one is they are both specialists in surgery, surgeon specialists. One is responsible for heart or cardiac related. The other is probably somebody with another specialty. Okay? They are both specialists. You hear they are both specialists, but they are specialists in various areas. So the soldier is a specialist in defense and combat. The police officer is a specialist in law enforcement and internal security. The formed police unit is a very deep specialized person in crowd control and crowd management. So deploy the right tools and expect the right results. When there is a crowd control potential and your intelligence gather tells you that it is likely to be violent, the best bet is to deploy a full set of a formed police unit. If you need 2 full sets of formed police units, you do that in line with your intelligence gathered. And when the crowd appears and the crowd actually getting violent, it doesn't surprise them because they were told this was likely to happen. And if there is anybody in Ghana who believes that the death and burial of Mohammed Ibrahim, aka Kaka, will not degenerate into what we saw in Ejura, then the person doesn't understand what security is. So for me, when I saw that the military had gotten into Ejura, and I looked behind, I couldn't see that formed police unit that is responsible for dealing with these matters. I asked myself, where have they gone to? As we speak, we have 1 formed police unit in South Sudan, we have 1 formed police unit in Somalia. They are surviving and doing fantastically well. And right in our own country, we still have a lot of them at the police training school, Tessama in Accra. The formed police unit headquarters, you go there, you will love them. Very professional, well trained to deal with that. With their shields, the way they dress, with their tasers, their long batons, their truncheons, with the water cannon vehicle, there is no crowd. It doesn't matter how violent that they can deal with. But if we deploy the wrong tools and expect the right results, I don't know where it has ever happened, and it will never happen.
So on the day, those who are in charge of security deployed the wrong tools and the wrong personnel.
Correct. Because at any point in time that you're getting soldiers involved in a law enforcement related issue, particularly crowd control and crowd management, what it means is that the police have failed. The police are challenged beyond their capacity, and they are calling for higher power. That is when we call on the military to come and intervene. The military officer is trained for combat and national defense. So what he's trained to do, if you are calling on him, you are basically endorsing him to come and do what he has been trained to do. So when he comes to do that and people are dead, I don't expect people to stand around and say, why would they do that? Who called them? What was the justification for getting the military involved? Somebody should be held accountable. You don't call me to come and shoot. And when I get there, you say I shouldn't shoot. I'm trained to shoot. So if you're calling me, it means that you're endorsing. Please come and shoot. I've come and I've shot. They say they shouldn't shoot into the crowd. Yes. The soldier is trained to deal with combat, deal with an enemy. These armless civilians, they were not enemies. They were not enemies to the soldiers. So why did you call the soldiers in? You are painting the picture that There are some enemies, they are combatants, they are very dangerous, they are armed and they can kill. Please, soldiers come. So they are coming with the mentality that we are coming to deal with our group of people who are dangerous. If not, the police will not call us. Somebody should be held responsible for getting the soldiers into a crowd management and control situation.
So even if the police were going, the soldiers were going to be called in, is at the point where the form police unit has failed and every other thing that you are deploying is failing. That's when you call the soldiers.
That is the international accepted structure. And even in situations of this nature, because we're all in the same country, it is possible for you to invite the military to come and stand by and show presence. Level 1 force of the military in such a situation is just their presence. They don't need to do anything. Just come and park your vehicle, get down from the vehicle and stand there. Let the crowd see that the soldiers are here, but they are not coming into the crowd. They won't come. They are only telling that we are here and we are standing by. If you think you can overrun the police, okay, if you overrun the police and you think you can go ahead, the military will step in. If one, you can also overrun us. So that statement by their visibility is a powerful statement to make. You know what? Let me give you a caution. If Ghana tries to cheapen our military and we continue to draw them into such messes, and at the end of the day, we don't respect our military anymore, we will all pay a price for it. If Ghana decides to think that the police are incompetent and everything we do within the internal security environment, oh, let the soldiers come, let the soldiers come. When the soldiers come, they will come and do soldier work, and there will not be anybody to do police work, and all of that will pay for it in our democracy. Democracy is anchored on effective policing. Democracy is anchored on democratic policing. Democracy is anchored on respect for human rights and human dignity. The police is the cement of society. When the cement loses its value, disintegration will set in.
So having said that, even assuming the form police unit were not available, the situation where we see the military leading the charge, should that have been the case?
And that is why I'm saying there is total confusion in the system. Even if the military had gone there on the invitation of the police ought to have been the one leading and telling them this is the situation we find ourselves. But if I overrun to the point that you invite the police and you disappear from the scene, you've overrun the police and the police have disappeared from the scene and they're calling on the military to come. When they come, they will go and do what we saw them doing. Surprisingly, what we saw in the videos was that the military were in front, followed by police. We are walking with our head. And what we have seen, one person killed. We went to manage to support them to bury. We killed 2 in addition. So 3 people have been killed. Is that a positive impact? Of course, no. So the deployment was wrong. Whoever called the military had demonstrated police incompetence. And I don't want to believe the police are incompetent. They probably didn't get their intel right. Because if the intel is right, it will tell you Ejura is a known place. Even during election, they will tell you it's a hot spot. So when such a person like Kaka is killed in cold blood, you know the youth will have their blood boiling. Master, if your mother is even 100 years old and she dies, let them go and put her in the fridge. Okay? Let them put her in the morgue for 3 months. The day they will remove your mother and take her to the cemetery, if you follow the people to go and bury your mother, at the time they put the mother in the grave, it doesn't matter who you are. You will feel something in you. And this is a normal death. If your brother is beaten and killed like the way Kaka was beaten and killed, look, you require to be restrained. You require some psychologists to work on you to understand that it has happened. Let's be patient. And you know that the youth will surely be boiling on the day of the burial. So if we didn't get our intel right, let's just confess that we didn't get our intel right, and for that matter, we never prepared. And when we were overwhelmed, we started calling the soldiers to come.
So the accountability shouldn't start from the men that were deployed on the ground. It is the person who made the decision and who decided to put soldiers in front, who felt that soldiers were supposed to be called in those who did not see the need to put in the form police unit to await anything of such, those are the ones we should be looking at.
We should look at the whole rules of engagement. The military has a rule. They have ROE, the rules of engagement. Who should call you for you to respond? It's not anybody. It's not anybody who will just call that they are beating people, soldiers come and they'll go. No. They have a structured command. Who releases them to go? And you know, this is a security agency. They go with strict instructions to do what they're supposed to do. They take command and control must work. What was the impact of command and control? What were they told to go and do? The soldier will not do anything he's not instructed to do. So what they did in Nigeria, they were instructed to do it. If they're not instructed to do it, it means that any soldier who violates command and control will also have to be dealt with. It's a structured matter. You can't go away from it. If you're a soldier and you go on your own, you will pay for it. If you take instructions from command and it fails, command will be held responsible. What are the rules of engagement? Is it the regional police commander, including the regional boss of the army, that will have to link up to do this? Is it the chairman of the regional security council? Is it the chairman of the municipal security council who have to do something? All these things they have to investigate and find out. And you got to know who released them to go and the instruction given and what happened. I'm happy that there's a committee set in place, even though we expected it to be a presidential commission and not a ministerial committee.
And that's the point I was coming to, whether you believe that committee set up by the minister with authority from the president is able to establish all the elements you are talking about here. Please,
let me run you through this again. The Inspector General of Police could have instituted a committee to investigate this. The minister on his own, Minister for Interior, he could have instituted a committee to also investigate it. The president on his own, at the presidential level, could have asked that I need a presidential commission of inquiry to inquire into this matter. But here we are. The president is instructing the minister to do what he's supposed to do anyway. Because at the ministerial level, what he can do is to establish or institute a committee for himself, ministerial committee to investigate. So I don't even see why the president will be telling the minister to do what he's supposed to be doing. That is his job. If the president is very into the matter, we expected him to come with a presidential commission of inquiry, which is a par with the High Court. These are murder cases. People have been killed. And in this country, when somebody dies, the case can only be prosecuted at the High Court. You can't prosecute a murder case at the magistrate court. You cannot prosecute a murder case at the circuit court. All those things are committal proceedings. You can only prosecute a murder case at the High Court. And that is why, because people are dead in this particular matter, we expected a High Court status of a committee, and that is the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. The president lowered the standard. Why? I don't know.
Well, very, very interesting, because I also hear you talking about so by this time the minister should have been clear in his mind as to exactly what happened at Ejura. The IGP should have also done his own investigation. I'm guessing the CDS will have also done his own investigation, so they should have their own facts that they will be putting before the public anytime questions are asked.
Anytime that there's a Presidential Commission of Inquiry, the CDS, the Minister for Interior, the Minister for Defense, all of them will have a role to play to provide some information that can allow us to build a system that is resilient enough to prevent future occurrence. Because in matters of security, intelligence has been gathered, the young man was killed, we all know, intelligence has been gathered, a date has been fixed for him to be buried, intelligence has been gathered, briefing has been done, there is some level of coordination among security agencies on how to deal with the situation, ministers will be aware. So if all this happens, and then we go there and there are deaths, and you are saying that the minister himself should have a committee to investigate it, the minister himself should also be providing information, the briefing that he got and the contribution that he also made, and finally why it happened and it failed. He should be supporting us and not having a committee on his own. And that is why the minority in parliament are saying, Mr. President, you know as a matter of fact, that the Presidential Commission of Inquiry like what happened when Ayawaso West Wagon matter came up, would have been a better option. But you are the president. We voted for you. You are the leader of this country. Why you decided to drop the tempo? Bringing now from a commission of inquiry level to a ministerial committee, you know better. Let's wait for the results.
Well, there's also the issue of, because usually when things like this happen, we expect the police to essentially give us an account of exactly what happened, a preliminary account. The police issue a statement on the day the incident happened, and everybody was left scandalized because everybody that was there, see, the police were lying through their teeth. Nothing like of sorts happened. And what the police were saying was contrary to exactly what happened on the ground. Should that also be a subject of probe?
And that is why we are recommending to the president to institute a presidential commission of inquiry. That is big. It has wide range of authority. It can subpoena anybody to appear. And I think that would have been a comprehensive work. Unfortunately, we don't have it. Because people were there. Because there was a sensitive issue, there were a lot of media people there. Many of the scenes were covered live. The ordinary people themselves saw what happened. So if you go and issue a statement that flies in the face of the truth, people don't know. But was it a way of doing damage control or something? Is it a way of managing the tensions in town? Whatever it is, when system is calm and tempers are down, the truth must be unveiled and system must be put in place to prevent future occurrence. That is the purpose of a commission of inquiry.
Well, we do understand that you are attempting to use the forum of parliament, the minority, the forum of parliament, to try to compel the president to institute such a commission. Any chance of success?
Thank you very much. You know, it's a presidential commission. It's the president who will have to institute that. We have raised it. We've justified why it should be a presidential commission of inquiry. The president has heard it. After hearing it, whether he takes it or not, we don't know. But all we've seen is that he's composed a committee at the ministerial level to take care of the matter. That is what he has decided to do. Nobody can begrudge him. He's the president. Whether he's capricious, whether he's reckless, he is His Excellency the President. We're waiting for the results.